And you thought your auto insurance rate skyrocketed after you had an accident. Just imagine what happens to airlines insurance rates when the industry sees 3 of them, and they're not all accidents. Fox on top of insurance companies upping the ante, some tripling premiums for so-called war insurance airline policies. And if you think that you won't be paying for some of that, well, Mark Murphy says think again. Well, I guess that's not too surprising, but triple, wow.
Yeah, it's going way up, and because of these war incidents. Also, when you think about it, it's not just a plane getting shot out; it's a plane on the ground getting destroyed by damage from these different terrorist groups, different war zones, et cetera. So a plane could cost $100 to $200 million. So that's a huge loss for that particular insurance company.
All right. So for the airlines that might be facing these higher fees, is it those that have exposure to Europe, particularly the old Eastern Europe, or what?
Yeah, I think that's what the insurance companies are looking at. It's not the guy that's flying domestically here, the Southwest Airlines, if you would. They've got to deal with certain things. It's the ones that are going into areas. I would assume that flying into Israel, you're going to pay a slightly higher premium, or anywhere in the Middle East than you are if you're flying.
Hasn't that always been the case? Or
yeah, because they're looking at the different risk.
Right.
You know, so depending on where you fly, what the risk is, and then the question is, are the consumers going to get hit for that? And all I can say is, if the airlines can pass it on, they'll go ahead and do that. And if we can absorb it, they'll get to that point where we say enough's enough, and then we start making different decisions about where we decide to travel.
I was thinking of the possible surcharges for anti-missile systems on planes if they go that direction.
Sure.
And then this on higher insurance premiums if we're already going in that direction. Flying could get very, very pricey.
Yeah, and you know what? It already is pricey. And for people flying out of secondary markets, in some cases, fares are up 60, 70% in the last couple of years. And that's because that nonstop service got pulled out and there's less competition. So if you don't have the competition, you have the freedom to raise fares as much as you want until the customer basically says, that's it. And the airlines are really great at what's called yield management. They basically extract the biggest dollar they can on that final seat, and they do a great job of that. And guys like me who have to travel at the last minute end up paying the highest premium. What's going to happen over time is people are going to look at digital opportunities, GoToMeeting, WebExes, things like that, and say, you know what, can I do that meeting digitally instead of getting on the plane and being face-to-face?
Unless the airlines hide it in fees and all that you're very familiar.
Yeah, but it's,
right?
As a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, it's that final out-of-pocket. What's it going to cost me to bring that extra guy to that extra meeting, and what's going to be the result? And as long as the cost-benefit is there, I go ahead and do it. But at some point in time, you look at those costs and you say, man, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in travel expenses. The airlines need to make a profit, but the business owner needs to make the profit, and the leisure traveler wants to get there without spending $6,000, $7,000 for a family of 4 just to get to Europe before they pay for the cruise, the hotels, the meals, all of those things.
All the other stuff.
That's the pushback, and I feel bad for the hotels on the ground and the cruise lines, because in many cases they're subsidizing the carrier by having to lower their costs, so the overall cost to the traveler, you know, that's what the traveler's looking at. They're not saying it's this, 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 and this. They're saying, I got to spend $10,000 before I buy any meals on the ground. Can't do that. Let's go to plan B. And then that changes the actual booking behavior and the travel behavior.
That's interesting. I didn't think on their end how they'd have to adjust to get you to still fly.
Absolutely.
Mark Murphy, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you very, very much.